The BBI is not a political process.
When you mention or hear Pan-Africanism, think,
please let the president take charge of this. No more bloodshed.
Punchline Africa Television. Here, we're all about events.
Why don't we build cottage industries that can employ so many of these younger men? Why do you bring them to dance with the wheelbarrow?
On a 360 degrees overview on what's making news in Kenya and Africa at large.
A party-less DP risks an impeachment.
What's more, facts matter to us. Join us as we give you the daily punch on things that matter to you. Punchline Africa Television for Africa, by Africans.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the Republic of Kenya, miles away from the general headquarters. Welcome back, Miriam Ogutu. Good morning.
Very good morning to you, Doctor, and happy to see you this morning and the rest of our panelists and our viewers.
Thank you very much. You have already seen the others, but you hadn't seen me. I am here now on the ground, so they had taken all the seeing. But so, now nice I am here.
Nice
see
to
me.
See you. Absolutely.
We missed you while you were away.
I missed
Perhaps
you too.
You were away too long. Obyerika told Okonko, things have fallen apart. Back in the house of the Jubilee government, the things seem to be in a limbo. Is it a reconciliation? If reconciliation is reconciliation, what type of reconciliation? Are you in government, or out of government, or with the government, or by the government, or for the government? If you are, what type of duties are you supposed to deliver to the people of Africa and the people of Kenya, for example? What else can President Uhuru Kenyatta do after declaring an open forgiveness and asking to be forgiven, and those who have wronged him also to forgive him? What do you think? Where can we move from here? Are we hurtling towards the same train that saw us 13 years ago hurtle to a standstill? Are the same formations coming in play? In 2013, 13 years ago, the NGOs stood on one side of the Kenyan politics, supported the International Criminal Court to take people to the ICC. We see a repeat of the same NGOs, that stood, that wanted the Ocampo 6 to be delivered to The Hague, now joining hands with His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. Is there a plan to accelerate the renewal of violence that we saw? Are these NGOs honest? Are people like Dr. David Ndii, Maina Kiai, Jonjo Moe, Mutunga, Boniface Mwangi, Hassani Omar? Look at that man of Machakos, Mudhama. Haki group. There is a group in Mombasa. If you look at what is happening in the group in Mombasa, the one that cries about human rights on a daily basis, any viewer, any Kenyan, anywhere on this continent will know If you look at Nelson Harvey, what is Nelson Harvey doing? Nelson Harvey is just fronting a George Soros approach to deliver us to hell. If you look at what Maraga is doing,
Republic of Kenya is
Maraga is hurtling this nation towards a conflict. If you look at what Human Rights Watch are writing, they are hurtling us towards a conflict. If you look at the creation of the word of a hustler and a dynasty, we are hurtling towards a conflict. Time has come now, as I open up this show, to stand by the truth and say it as it is. Irrespective of anything, you can hate me, love me, thank you, you don't feed me. You don't give me food, neither have I borrowed food from you. But when I see Kenya going in a different direction, which will affect me and my people near my country and near my border, and when I see the 27 families that have settled in Uganda permanent, in my own clan, in my own shopping center, in my own vicinity, giving people M-Pesa, yet they have homes, they had homes in the Rift Valley, I get concerned. They have been told to come back, they have said we shall not come back. Are we hurtling towards a conflict? My opinion, today I want to address the 4 leaders. I think the picture should come, all the 5, 6 key leaders of Kenya. As I speak, let this picture come on board. That I am one of the few people in sub-Saharan Africa who went, filed, and insisted, defended Kenya at the time they needed me. They did not need me, but they needed help. It is Hassan Omar. Does it surprise you, therefore, that Mr. Hassan Omar analyzes intentions, the instructions from none other than George Soros to join the Hustler board? Can Hassan Omar, who wrote 2 conflicting reports that were rejected by the ICC court in totality, is the one heading a group that calls itself the Hustler movement? Boniface Mwangi, for example, was busy telling the whole deputy president how he has grabbed everything except his own bedroom. Yes, it was not touched. It has never been touched. But other people's houses, they are not there. But today, if you see Boniface Mwangi on the site of the DP, in Mombasa and everywhere, campaigning, standing firm, is there something that went wrong? Moses Kuria. If you look at Moses Kuria, who actually brought witnesses, he is the spokesperson, more or less, because he comes from Gatundu South, the constituency of the president. He's out for the spoils. He's not bothered. He wants to finish it with Uhuru Kenyatta. If you see Mudhama is one of the people in parliament who said they must go. But if you see him today teaming up in a movement of the same people he wanted to detain. Is there something wrong? If you see Dr. David Ndii, the man who was the PA for Mutunga, a man who wrote several articles praising the ICC and saying the ICC should take these criminals, and he's joining hands with the deputy president, is there something wrong? If you see Mutunga himself, a man who refused to form a special division of the High Court of the ICC into Kenya to domesticate the law, the international law into the local law, and he's joining hands with the DP. Is there something wrong? If you see Bone Harwale, as we speak, bring the tape of Bone Harwale. It is with you, production team. Put it on here for people to hear for some minutes. And the man has gone to join the DP. Is there something wrong? There's something very wrong. And this is something wrong is the one that I want to ask as the panel, when I finish talking, to address what is wrong. Is it the politics? Is it the person they are following? Or is it the money? Three categories: politics, the person they are following, or the money. The panel will be able to dissect whether what I'm saying is correct or not. Bring the topic, cue in Harwale's, if you have got it now. Let it play. Let people see for themselves. Then you will see my point, where I'm coming from. And then when we finalize this, remember this is my opinion. It might not be your opinion, so don't insult me too much beyond redemption. Redempt yourself first and have tears before you insult me. I have no tears. My tears are already gone.
Tape is ready.
Ningependa kumkumbusha kwamba if Edward Ouko is given a chance, atauliza deputy president kwamba pesa yenye wewe unalipwa mshahara haina uwezo ya kuwezesha wewe deputy president kujenga nyumba ya kifahari ya 1.2 billion. Who is? Mheshimiwa Ruto, Mheshimiwa deputy president, mshahara wenye wewe unalipwa haiwezi kupatia nguvu ya kununua Dolphin Beach Hotel Mombasa yenye umenunua. Haiwezi we deputy president. Hiyo pesa, and I'm talking to your own people. These are your own brothers and sisters. Hiyo pesa haiwezi kutosha mshahara yako ukanunua helicopters 4. Vijana wewe, awache uongo yake bwana. Awache matusi yake. Atuambie helicopter ya kwanza 250 million alitoa wapi? Helicopter ya pili 300 million Ruto ulitoa wapi? Helicopter ya tatu 350 million Deputy President ulitoa wapi?
All right. Welcome back, Doctor. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. You have heard it for yourselves. Is there something wrong in the three categories that I've mentioned? Is it the politics of this country that is wrong? Is it the person they are following who is wrong? Or is it the money? So, thank you very much. Welcome to the show. This is my opinion. Now I leave it for flogging. That whichever angle you want to start flogging it, Miriam, flog it. Then later on, you bring us the facts. President Uhuru Kenyatta opened the Pandora box. He said, forgive me because I've forgiven those who have wronged me. Is Ruto willing to forgive the president? Has Ruto forgiven the president of Republic of Kenya, is really willing to go back. Do the population of Kenya need this at this hour? Who needs this? Who needs to be told that a PS called so and so is harassing you? You are in government, for government, by government, with government, and you are fighting the same government. I want us, let me open it more. Let's understand this. The deputy president is, by the constitution of Republic of Kenya, which is here, you see it. He is the deputy president. He is part of the government. So, if he has failed because he has wronged the boss told him don't go for rallies. He went for rallies. Do Kenyans pay the price for his wrong politics? Do Kenyans pay the price for the wrong politics? Why should Kenyans today pay the price of having people quarrel within their perimeters, their houses? One is in Karen, one is in central Nairobi. Those quarrels can be solved if the deputy president books an appointment to go and talk to the president and ask him, sir, what did I do wrong? Do Kenyans need to suffer? Do Kenyans need to walk without masks? The way we are walking without masks, in political rallies, dancing on wheelbarrows without masks. Is this a disease, not a deterrent? Unless there is a pushing point that Maraga has pushed us to cancel, to dissolve the parliament. Are we safe? That is my submission, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor, and also thank you for that wonderful introduction there, Professor.
Miriam, thank you, and welcome back. Let me just have this to say, Dr. Matsanga and Miriam and Daniel. The deputy president is the principal assistant to the president. We don't have election tomorrow or the other day, the day after tomorrow. Elections are 2 years away from us. This is the time for us to build this country. This is the time for us to address the pandemic. So if Miriam, someone has moved and is focusing 2022, Miriam, do we just go and tell him to come and we reconcile? If the boss is telling you it is time for us to address the big four agenda, I have got a records to leave, and I'm going home in the next 22 months. And his principal assistant doesn't want to hear that. And that's why, as Miriam, we need to have a conversation what we do with this constitution. Is it the deputy president who nominated or who appointed the president, or the president who appointed the deputy president or nominated him to be his principal assistant? Dr. Miriam, we need to have a conversation here. And this is why I see PBI as a perfect opportunity. Knowing very well that if I say you be my assistant, you be my running mate, then in between, if we cannot work, the law must give us the clear way. But I know I can ask you, you can step down and I can get another one. Just as it was like during the time for the governors, you know, the governors were behaving that they cannot even put an assistant. There was an advisory opinion from the Supreme Court, what ought to be, and eventually the Senate to then act the law. This is the way to go. To the Deputy President, what I can only say, if he's so much focused on 2022, let him just leave the government. That's what gentlemen do. You know, children will come to read history. We read history about Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. We read the history about Joseph Murumbi. We read history about Josephat Karanja, what they did. You resign as principal. And with time, if you find you are being harassed, time and history will come to say that you were right. From where I sit, there is no even point of reconciliation from my end. Time has come for the deputy president to leave government. You cannot go and sit in the cabinet where if you have an issue with any of the cabinet secretaries or any of the principal secretaries in government or any other government officials, you table, put it as agenda, discuss it, and the way forward will always be found. Miriam, you cannot come from there. You cannot be the principal assistant to the president. Then you come outside and then you start doing innuendo. It cannot work like that, Miriam. And we cannot continue like this. Action must be taken, and the sooner action is taken, the better. Let the deputy president leave the government and concentrate in his 2022. And Miriam, what has happened with this Hasara movement? This is the class war. You do not capitalize the misfortune of the young people that they cannot find employment. And then you come and tell them, you know what? Why you are poor, it is because of the rich. And I don't know what National Cohesion and the Integration Commission is doing when someone is having those kind of names. Those kind of names should not be allowed. They cannot be used. They should be outlawed. There is no to that effect. Come with an ideology. Represent the people of Kenya. Represent the young people of Kenya. If the ideology is good, they will follow you. But don't create class war.
Okay.
I submit, Miriam.
Right. Thank you so much there, Professor. Of course, Daniel, you know, the kind of dynamics we see now.
Stephen, go ahead, Miriam.
All right,
Sorry.
yeah, the kind of dynamics we see between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy has never been witnessed in the Kenyan politics, as we have, you know, and I think it has been brought about by our new constitution where you cannot really fire, you know, your vice president, and so we have to deal with that right now. We saw over the weekend President Uhuru Kenyatta during the national prayers coming out and apologizing to whoever. He was not very particular to who he was apologizing, and of course everybody had their own guesses. And then we saw yesterday Deputy President William Ruto coming out and also apologizing in the similar fashion there. And so here we are today speaking about reconciliation. And
Miriam, there is no similar fashion. No.
yeah.
There was no similar fashion.
I'm saying the president did not mention anybody in particular, and the DP also did not apologize to anybody in particular. He just apologized. And
so that is not a reconciliation.
Yeah, and I wanted now to pose a question there. Yes, and you could see the president perhaps was a bit sincere in his call for, as much as he did not mention names or whoever he was apologizing to, but he said, whoever I have wronged, please forgive me, and whoever that have wronged me, please forgive me for the unity and of this country moving forward. Daniel, looking at that and reconciliation as we talk about this morning, this afternoon, where do you place
thank
that?
You, Of course, as I said in the morning show, is that it was good for President to lead the pack by showing his remorse attitude towards those he has wronged, and also forgive, and also whoever maybe. They have been going around the country engaging in premature 2022 politics, something that the president and the state has been all against. Because remember, Miriam, the president has an agenda to deliver. He has a legacy to leave behind. And these people have been working in a total disregard of all these calls from the president. So therefore, before you ask for forgiveness, first of all, make sure that you mend your acts. You make sure that you correct the past mistake that you've made. But looking at the deputy president and his allies, These are people who are so much blinded by the politics of 2022. These are people who do not see that our president is doing a good work by bringing the former opposition leader on board for the sake of the of peace of this country. These are people who are seeing politics in every step that the government is taking to make sure that we better the lives of Kenyans. We make sure that we have a conducive environment for investors to come and invest here so that our young people can have jobs to seek their daily bread. But, you know, Miriam, one thing Dr. Matsanga has said is he has raised a very, very essential question regarding on how these people are aligning themselves towards 2022. And one thing I can tell you for a fact is that these people are there for a unity which is built on money. They are there to mint the NGO money. And that's why you can see for the very first time, we have an LSK chairman who is so closely aligned to a particular political affiliation entity, in that you might think that he will be an aspirant on the same political from the same political group come 2022. Look at his language, Nelson Harvey. Today he was speaking about going to occupy the parliament in total disregard of what believing that the matter is still before the judiciary. Look at the NGOs. Look at Hassan Omar Hassan. Look at Johnson Muthama. Look at Boni Halwale. These were people who swore never to be associated with the deputy president. So therefore, you ask yourself, is this the latest dalliance between these people and the deputy president built on principle? Is it built on political ideology? The answer is no, Miriam. These are people who are there because they have a common benefit. And the benefit is that money is flowing in from the international NGOs. Money is flowing in from the proceeds of corruption that these people have been engaging in for the past years that they held influence in government. So therefore, it is key for every Kenyan to know that whatever goodness that is being perpetuated in this country only rests with whatever the president is doing, by making sure that there is a unity, by making sure that we fix our system of governance through the BBI report. Otherwise, Miriam, all these other things are just but mere shenanigans.
All right, very well. And Doctor, I don't know if you're able to see today's front pages of the Standard newspaper, and down there, defiant but sorry, Ruto's new normal. And now he's saying, while regretting attacks against him and supporters, he takes up president's hand of forgiveness. Is this a ceasefire or a lull before a storm? And should he really be sorry? And now perhaps wants to, if you were to go with that headline there, of course, he has not come out clearly and say he's seeking forgiveness from the president. But assuming you go with that headline there, do you think DP can, be in a capacity to support the handshake, to support the BBI? Because these are things that are very important to President Uhuru Kenyatta, and I don't see him changing his mind about this cause. So if he was to come back and seek for forgiveness, do you see any point in time where the deputy president might support these things that are quite dear and near, including President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy? They're building that they have been really distracting. Do you see him coming in and trying to support that, Doctor?
My sister, this man is a very cunning Machiavellian politician. You can go to any planet and ask who Ruto is. It will tell you he's Machiavellian. Who is Kivuva Kibwana? Kivuva Kibwana is NGO, it's George Soros. You want to know more? I can produce you over 250 executives in Kenya who work on George Soros' instructions. So when the deputy is going to Makueni, is scheming, but there is a blow here which people don't want to discuss as early as possible. We better discuss it. It is very difficult to have presidents coming from two tribes of a nation all the time. Can I bring the topic tomorrow? That's where the blow is going to come. So get your tears and handkerchiefs ready. some lumpens like a Maina and so on, these people who write stupidity, they don't know that things are going in a different way. You cannot, Ruto can even sing and sing. But the people, the opinion of Kenyans cannot, it will shape towards 2021 and 2022. The politics will be said on platform. Things will change. Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to stand for any presidency. And he's the last man from the Mount Kenya and the Central Province. Moi took 24 years in power, 2 terms. He compensated for Ruto because Ruto was YK 2092. So mchunge hiyo. Those who don't know politics should shut up.
He compensated for, so he ruled for Ruto
yes,
too.
He compensated for Ruto.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is very difficult for right now. And I'm not saying a lie. Just look at the geopolitical situation of Kenya. It is very difficult for other Kenyans to keep on voting for only 2 tribes. It itself you can cause genocide. Yes. Yes. There was a time in Britain when the British were voting only British mainland prime ministers. It caused a problem to the extent, and I'm now telling people who have not read beyond their eyes, because there are some people who pretend to read, but they have not read. You know, if you don't see whether there is an eyebrow until you for a camera or for a mirror. I'm not insulting anybody, but those are English expressions. Matsanga, what do you call them? Metaphors.
Yes.
People who have not read beyond their eyes. Don't try to challenge others who have seen instances. For example, in Britain, the world was going amok. The people of Scotland said, my friend, everything that you have comes from us. When we bring a situation, you shoot us down. Labour Party, Conservative Party, you always pick people from the mainland. Margaret Thatcher, Johnny Major. Have you seen those? Margaret Thatcher, Johnny Major, Tony Blair. Look at the Prime Minister, Cameroon. Things were going very badly. I'm talking to you this because I have been in that country since 1987. Every time you field a candidate who is outside from Kinnock, who remembers Kinnock, one of the best orators in British history. Kinnock failed several times to oust Margaret Thatcher. But one night, 1 year, 1997, 1990, after Tony Blair, things started rumbling. People said, no, time has come for change. And the change must come from Scotland. The best brain, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, my friend, Gordon Brown, is a Scottish. For the first time, a Scottish Prime Minister arrived arrived on the soil of Great Britain. Did you therefore, did you see the changes, the peace, no ordering troops to Iraq, Iran, where this guy was fantastic. People couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. So here we are. If you want to discuss to extend the horizon, Miriam, I've given it to you. You think Kenyans are ready for a man from the Rift Valley or a man from Mount Kenya again as a president?
Mm-hmm. I think that's
Let Ruto have a shock before.
That's a whole new topic, Doctor. Maybe they will
leave it, open it up for people now. I'm closing my pot.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. But there's something also, Doctor, you mentioned there. Do you want to complete something? All right. There's something Professor there, Doctor, mentioned about our Kenyan politics. And after playing that video by, Dr. Boni Halwale, sometimes I even forget he's an actual doctor, on Kenyans' politics. Is it the politics that we have, the nature of our politics? Is it the people we follow, the leadership we have in terms of our politics, or is it the money? So when you look at that video earlier on that was played, Boni Halwale castigating Deputy President William Ruto, I think during the last general elections, and he really called him a lot of names, and he called him out as being very very corrupt and all that, and questioning the source of his money and where he gets the money to give whatever he's giving. Even then, Deputy President was still philanthropic, I suppose. But right now, he seems to be dancing to a different tune now. So this brings into focus our politics here in Kenya. Is it at all even based, I don't know if I can put Kenyan politics and ideology, but how do you see that?
This is how I see it, Miriam. There are people in life who are sadists. There are some people who don't want stability, harmony, peace, and tranquility. Sometimes, Miriam, if you sit down and ask yourself, why are people so much opposed to the president and the prime minister? How do they want Kenya to be after 2017, the nullification of the presidential elections? And you had this situation, people saying resist, boycotting of other things. Then the president comes here and then God speaks with him, and then they come and there's peace in the country. Miriam, answer me this question. Why don't people want peace? Why do people want turmoil? And Miriam, let me tell you for one, and I want to be very frank. Why people are running amok? The 9-point agenda which were identified destroys the careers of most people. And let me tell you, people, Miriam, people have been thriving on the disunity between the Kikuyus and the Luos. They don't talk, they don't see other eyes when they are rooting. Miriam, the kind of routing which was done 2013 and 2017, it has never happened in the history of this country. From 1963 to 2013, the routing which took between 2013 and 2017, you cannot imagine. This is the money which is being used to give people. And remember, Miriam, the politics of this country, it's not based on principle, it's not based on ideology. People use the stomach to think, not the head. So if you can hear what the purifier of the command is saying, then you can say, then Miriam, we have been bewitched in this country. The other day we were asking who bewitched in Africa. Then Dr. Arware, from what he said and what he's saying now, surely is bewitched. He is honestly bewitched. So Miriam, corruption is fighting back because we are trying to say the Prime Minister and the President agree that they fight corruption. From independence, Miriam, up to now, you can agree with me. No finance minister has stepped out of office and been charged in court. And the harm of the government, which is leading us down, is the judiciary. You know, remember when we were having protracted the politics, Miriam? Someone is being asked, the governor is being asked, this one, they ran whole, we are being finished. So the president has said that, and the prime minister through BBI, we must fix this. Miriam, people are running away. And the money which was used for corruption is what's being buying people left, right, wheelbarrows, Mokongoteni, name them, people come this. And Miriam, let me tell you for one, I have got a serious intuition. You need not to fear what's happening in this country. The fact that you could see our brothers and sisters from Mount Kenya going to the wreck side, that was a serious statement, Miriam. So in essence, and to give other panelists an opportunity to speak, Miriam, the politics of this country has never been politics of principle. And the bad manners, let me tell you, William was so close to Moi and found how Moi was so kind-hearted to give people money. He borrowed that kind of behavior. Came and looked for money, and that's why he's now dishing and buying everybody else. He works very close to the prime minister, and they know what you need to do. You charge the crowd. That's why he has come with the Hustler Nation to come and misuse our young people. So that's how I look at it. But something good is coming for this country, Miriam. I have no doubt on that. I've got a feeling. I've got that kind of intuition.
All right, very well. Daniel, politics, our Kenyan politics, what is wrong with it? Is it the nature of our politics as it is? Is it the people we choose to follow as our political leaders? Or is it the money that is involved? So as a professor there has put it, we think our politicians, they think with their stomachs, not really their heads. And I also mentioned there that Kenyan politics, there's really no ideology, or it's not a matter of principle. What do you make of all that? In regards to the video there that we just watched, Boni Halwale castigating Deputy President William Ruto. It's just a few years back. It's not even too long ago. I can see the video is quite clear, where he was questioning the source of the wealth of Deputy President, how he can afford to dish out all these goodies out there, and he said that did not match his pay slip, and so he wondered, where are you getting all this money? But now he seems to be a beneficiary of the same. What has changed, and the change of tune?
Yes, Miriam, there is a saying in politics which goes that an empty stomach is a bad political advisor. And perhaps Boni Halwale is on high opium of this kind of advice from his own belly. And that is why, you see, back then when William Ruto was not the one oiling his pockets, he was very reasonable. He saw the evils that William Ruto was doing, the financial sabotage that his allies were wreaking on the government of the day, and therefore he raised genuine concerns. And I'm very sure if you wake up today, Boni Halwale, at midnight, when he's very much sober without the grip of William Ruto in his pockets and the money that comes with it, I believe he'll be able to tell you that the fact of the matter is that he still believes that William Ruto is corrupt. William Ruto had stolen a lot of public money, which was meant to bankroll various social projects in various parts of this country. But because he needs money, that is why he's on the front line singing the song of William Ruto and advancing his bid for 2022 presidential ambition. And let me tell you, Miriam, one thing. When you study the politics of Boni Halwale, at one point, this is a man who even President Uhuru Kenyatta contributed some money when he was running in a by-election in Kolomani. And by that time, he was supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta. But the moment he got into parliament and the money started coming his way as an elected MP, what did he do? He turned against the president. He started insulting the president in social events, and that is what he's doing right now. These were the people who are behind the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who are calling for national dialogue between the former Prime Minister and President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now that President Uhuru Kenyatta extended his olive branch to the former opposition leader and called him on the table, and they had a handshake. What is another excuse that these guys are using now to shift comes again to go on the other side of the street to start shouting about how government is not doing this and that? We thought that if we bring the former prime minister on the table for the dialogue, for the handshake, it will be a very uniting moment where all Kenyans will have an opportunity to chat about their future. So I find it quite hypocritical for Boni Halwale, Johnson Muzama, and the former senator of Mombasa, Hassan Omar Hassan, really joining efforts with William Ruto to complain about the government of the day. And William Ruto himself, Miriam, let's look at him. This is a person who has been in 3 successive governments. And he has been, he worked with Moi during the YK92. He rose to become the member of Eldoret North with the same government of Moi. After that, he worked with Mwai Kibaki as a cabinet minister. And from the coalition government, today he has worked with President Uhuru Kenyatta for 8 years as a deputy president. So, and regardless of it all, he's still in the same government, and he's complaining about the same government. So this is a man who has been in government for almost his entire political life. And he's there telling you, you have this franchise, the government is not looking at you, the government is not doing this and that for you. So the question that Kenyans should ask William Ruto is that for all those decades he has been in successive governments, what has been his role? Which laws has he brought in the parliament to ensure that the lives of hustlers are being looked after? Which projects has he built even in his own backyard in Eldoret North, in Kamagut, that the people can look back and be proud of? Which initiative has he been able to take for the more than 30 years that he has been in government to ensure that youth of this country get employment? How many young people has he supported in terms of getting an education? So those are the fundamental questions, the fundamental issues that we should look at when we engage in this politics, Miriam.
All right, very well. And Professor, we looked at the headlines of the Standard earlier. You were not here on the first show there. We were with yes. And just to base on this reconciliation today that you're looking at, of course, yesterday, Deputy President is quoted as saying, "I agree with what was said by our leader, President Uhuru Kenyatta, that we should find a path to forgiveness because we are all humans with weaknesses. Likewise, I'm taking this opportunity to say all that I may have wronged in one way or another. I kindly ask for forgiveness." And even yesterday when he was in that church, he apparently offered himself for special prayers, admitting that he was heavy laden. So perhaps the deputy president is just tired of fighting with his boss and he's saying, you know what, let's just work together. I don't know, he's not saying that, but
Miriam,
he seems to be a man under siege. Yeah.
When we look at our Lord's Prayer, Jesus taught us to forgive our debtors so that we can be forgiven by God. President Uhuru Kenyatta was genuine in asking for that forgiveness. You don't ask for forgiveness because you have seen me asking for forgiveness, Miriam. That's not biblical. Jesus taught that our Father in heaven, may thy will be done on earth, may thy kingdom come. Give us our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. That is genuine repentance. And when you see, the president was very categorical. In fact, he was so much abused by those organizers of that meeting because they had agreed there will be no more speeches. And he was very categorical. He went to the spirit of the prayers and he said, kama kuna muntu nimekosea, anisamee na mimi nimemusamea. Then you go to church to tell people that since the president said for forgiveness, Miriam, I am a true believer in forgiveness and reconciliation. But it must be very genuine. What the deputy president was trying to do, we can debate until cows comes home. That is mockery, and it's not good to mock your boss, Miriam.
All right,
Doctor. Also, perhaps we could ask ourselves, if not President Uhuru Kenyatta, if President Uhuru Kenyatta would not have come out and asked for forgiveness, would have William Ruto, out of his own initiative, also come out and apologize for the president? And also, owing to the fact that the president is the one who has been aggrieved in all these theatrics. You remember at one point, Honorable Oscar Sudi and Johanna Angeno insulted Mama Ngina, who is the mother of the president. So that is the most important question, and I think I agree strongly with what Professor is saying. William Ruto should do it out of heart, not because the president started this occasion.
And does it count that the president actually asked for forgiveness in the presence of even the vice president himself? Does that count? Does that have some sort of wholesome water? But Doctor, you've joined us. Welcome back. You sound tired.
Not tired.
Yes.
Any conflict resolution expert will tell you Ruto's statement or the roadside declaration of stupidity.
Of what?
Stupidity, yes. That's it.
So you're not buying into that forgiveness?
No. Yes. You cannot go to look for Konyi. I'm speaking as a conflict resolution expert.
Yes.
The strategy of redemption strategy is in me. You cannot go and look for Konyi. You have found Konyi. Then he tells you, because I've heard you people talk, I've also reconciled.
Can't work like that.
Yes. I cannot act. I don't take it.
Yes, and also Dr. Matsanga, it tells you that President Uhuru perhaps had a soul-searching moment, and he has his reasons to why he brought about this reconciliation idea. So what are the reasons for the deputy president? He has also to come out and tell us perhaps why he feels that he should forgive.
No. You don't go there. Don't make things bigger for nothing. There is nothing. This is hot air.
And in fact, Dr. Matsanga, on mediation, there's a gesture which you pick. And and I'm talking about mediation and conflict resolution. If the president gave that gesture, what the deputy president could have picked Daniel.
Yes.
He could have straight gone to the president, to his boss, and say, Mr. President, thank you for forgiving me. This was great. I believe in forgiveness and reconciliation. Let us serve the people of Kenya. We could have achieved more. That is how it is being done.
But the same day, the following morning, you are in a church in Makweni with the same band of rogues, rogue men, rogue shetanis, like a Chungwa, and an NGO money man, George Soros point man in Kenya, who has been given money by George Soros to build his constituency to pass an oppose, who has cheated me my 850 euros up to date. You are there in this church telling people a same story of bitterness. You look at what they wrote. How can you say you are sorry? Then the following afternoon, your Twitter handle is being written by someone who is writing the same bad words about the same president. I have no quarrel. My quarrel is the belittlement of the president. The way this guy is belittled Uhuru Kenyatta is what makes me very upset. Otherwise, I wouldn't like to be involved part of your politics. That is up to you. But the way they belittle the president, we are trying to protect the institution of presidents, that tomorrow Ruto might become a president. And I don't, Ruto can control anybody to stand somewhere and point a finger at him. He will even go and cut him to pieces. He is so angry. He has anger. And I told you, anger, if you are angry, the only thing that controls the deputy president is money. But if he was poor, if he was poor, you do not say anything. But what controls him is he has money, he has property, he's billionaire. Right now, nobody can beat him. He has bought banks in Uganda, everywhere people are lying, and he can even boss. We have boss. You people just shut the TV, we go.
All right.
This is a painful exercise for Kenyans. Somebody mishandled Uhuru Kenyatta kabisa. Somebody cheated Uhuru Kenyatta. Kenyatta can forgive him, fine. All of us will forgive him, fine. But he did a disservice to his boss. He has spoiled his legacy. He has spoiled 2 years to go. The man is destroyed Kenyatta's legacy. That's the pain I have in my stomach and my heart.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Daniel, as we
You can close up if you want.
Yes, we are concluding.
You can finish anything. You can come back yourself.
Yes.
You can do something at 3. Change your program. I think I also need to have a rest in some way or the other. But let me tell you, that apology or something, forgiveness of yesterday, Ruto is just on, you see, oil and water, they separate each other. Some is floating. He just now wants to buy time so that the police don't tear gas him. This is a man who should face tear gas because he is not wearing a mask in a pandemic. So if you give him tear gas, he can wear a mask. There he is even talking without even a mask being near. I've seen Uhuru's mask. He talks with his mask this way. Handling this mask in the hand. This one is shouting, opening. Corona ataingia siku moja kwisha sisi.
Well, Trump is.
Yes, and
Trump is
also just before we go off, William Ruto, if you want to know the kind of reputation and the kind of person you are dealing with, just the other day when he was at Jubilee House, when they had a meeting over Msambweni by-election, he agreed, and before the party secretary general, he said that he supports the party position, although he was not of the same agreement earlier on. And he said that that is what the party has agreed on, and he was going to support that particular decision. But what did we see the next day? He emerged with a different candidate, an independent candidate, and he said he was going to rally his support behind that particular candidate, together with some few coastal members of parliament. So if this man has a reputation of a turncoat with the tendencies of a pendulum, so can you really be able to trust whatever things that he's saying, that perhaps he has forgiven someone? I don't think that is the William Ruto that we know. And as Dr. Matsanga says, these are just mere shenanigans. And with time, I believe he'll be proved right on his sentiments.
All right. Of course, the issue of face masks there, he's been quite defiant about it. So, Doctor, you're suggesting for him to be tear gas to wear a face mask. Professor.
Let me tell you, tear gas is the only one that can make people put there. Because that's the only medicine we can use now.
Okay.
So, because the figures are rising, so the basic thing is to tear gas these guys who come. Look, is opening his whole everything, but no mask.
All right. Maybe one.
We have Karanja online who has just come in. Karanja, we are sorry. You must have been calling, but you are not going through. Good afternoon, Karanja.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Daktari and Matsanga, Club and Miriam.
Yes, Miriam is back.
Yeah, he's welcome.
Yeah. So your comments as we close.
Yeah, and I found you talking of the deputy president not following the order the president is saying. And I think on matters whether he is making apology, whether his story is right or not, I think it does not put any water because we know what happened in 2007 and the people were banned in his own backyard. But he did get out openly to apologize to the public because of the mess that happened. On Muranga issue, he didn't even apologize or say a word of the two people who died. And we know he took the handle and Facebook page is filled with messages of condolences. And we expected him to write the occasion and send a message of condolences to the two young people who lost their lives in Harapé, that he was the deepest, and he didn't do so. Therefore, when he tries to portray himself as a man who is sorry, I think that is not a character of the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, and I don't think he even forgives, and that's something that I don't think he really forgives, because his words and his deeds are contrary to what he is saying. And we saw him yesterday going to judges and having those rallies, and this is something that the president is against, but he's doing exactly what the law does not permit according to the Public Order Act. And he's a man who thinks that it's only him who matters in the nation, and if not him, then it is William Samoei Ruto. And I think it is a very bad mentality of entitlement, and I don't think it is the right way to go, and that is not a character of a man who wants to rule this nation. I think he should relax and first of all work for the government of the day, because he can't just work for the government that he was elected as second in command and they expect to perform miracles when he is the president of this nation. He should also respect those who are in authority, so that he should be respected when he is the authority if God permits so. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much there, Javen. I think we get our last word from, perhaps the Professor could give us his closing remarks and then we finish the show.
Miriam, I'm sorry I got disconnected, but I'm happy that I'm back. And my just closing remarks is that, Miriam, I am a true believer in forgiveness and reconciliation. Our country needs to move forward. We need to help the president, the prime minister, midwife the BPI. We must consider ourselves, Miriam, that we have no another country. A peaceful Kenya is a good place for everybody. It's good for our neighbors. It's good for the region. And there's nothing so big that Miriam should divide us that we cannot come together and we reason together. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18, God tells us, let us come and we listen together no matter what type of sin that we might have committed. So I will still continue praying for the deputy prime minister, that he should be able to, the deputy president, that he should come forward and ask for true forgiveness. Let him just go mend fences with his boss, the president. This country is bigger than any of them. I close my remarks, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Javen from Nanyuki. Thank you, Daniel Wesonga from Nairobi. And Doctor, thank you so much. I don't know if you're still there. Thank you so much. Yes, you can say the last word and then you can send us all to lunch.
Thank you very much, the panel. The truth remains. Reconciliation does not come from an angry person. Reconciliation comes from a person who has reconciled. Have we got it right? Reconciliation does not come from an angry person. Reconciliation comes from a person who has reconciled. So you can make up your mind as you leave to go to have your lunch. If you need to forgive somebody, you forgive him when you are annoyed, or you forgive him when you have reconciled with the terms of what he did to you. Any conflict resolution expert will tell you, if you still think you have, and you will use it tomorrow, somewhere, and you have not declared it to the cessation of hostilities agreement, then you have not come with a ceasefire, you are going to be a terrible element tomorrow. According to me, President Uhuru Kenyatta has fully reconciled, but the deputy president has not. Therefore, the newspaper called the Standard summed Mr. Ruto very well. Sorry, a defiance. What does a defiance mean? You are not yet reconciled to your life. You still have anger that Raila Odinga was shaking hand, brought in your house where you should be, still stealing. And then he's coming now, stop the stealing, the theft, where you could come and lie to the president that things are very good outside there. Roads were building everywhere. Machiavelli, Nikolai Machiavelli, told the emperor of Sicily that those troops coming, the barbarians, are very few. We shall conquer them within 1 hour. While Machiavelli, Nikolai Machiavelli, was creating his own army to come and overthrow the emperor. That is my summary of what is happening in the Kenya. If President Uhuru Kenyatta does not see that, I see that. And it's my opinion. Reconciliation does not come from an angry, defiant person. It comes from a reconciled, humble, remorseful person. That's when reconciliation can be real. I can do a takeaway if you want.
Go ahead.
Okay. On Saturday, President Uhuru Kenyatta did make a very strong stride towards the healing process called a redemption strategy. In that strategy, you have healing, which is the final angle before you go to reconcile. Reconciling means you have come to terms with the type of activities that you were involved in, engaged in, that you now want to put aside and move forward one step by reconciling with another person. The mode of reconciliation must always be not defiant, not just sorry, but reconcilable. You must reconcile yourself before you talk of reconciliation with another person. From the point of view, President Uhuru Kenyatta is completely reconciled. But the deputy president, from his words of being defiant and yet sorry, has something left, unfinished business, which cannot be a full reconciliation. Until there is a full reconciliation, coming to terms with what you have done, remorsefully putting yourself out, is when this country can say Yes, now the deputy has reconciled with the president. But for now, having started conflict resolution, mediation, negotiation processes, I don't take the deputy president's word as a final word, and there will be no further statements coming from him against his boss. No. This guy is going to do the same, and there is no reconciliation that took place. The only reconciliation that took place was in State House when Uhuru, who was reconciled with himself, said, okay, this is my nation. Those whom have wronged, I'm sorry. The deputy has not. Thank you very much. If I'm wrong, time will ignorate me. But I have never been wrong on anything of this nature. The man still has anger, and that anger will be seen soon. Thank you, viewers.
Right. Thank you so much. And perhaps another place that requires some reconciliation is Azerbaijan and Armenia. That conflict there keep escalating. Doctor, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, all viewers, which I'll see you later on, maybe with Doctor. I'm not sure, but at 3 p.m. Thank you for watching. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon.
If I believe with me now,
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.